about you guys, but I took away that part of it. This was the evolution of Doom that needed to be, that was missing from Eternal. And this is showing that with some people like, oh, it's another Doom game.
No doubt, Doom heads are pleased.
Yes, very pleased.
So I did look. The original Doom was released when I was 2. So yeah,
but that shield is a game changer. That the fact that I am parrying bullet hell. When I get excited when I see green, I'm like, "Oh, you throwing green? You throwing green at me?"
Yeah. You know the one thing, Cog, I was mad excited when I saw. It didn't matter what part of the game. When I saw a line of shields, and I saw a line of shields, I was like, "Oh, I'm bad."
All right, and we are not live, but unified. The Lords together as one. Doom, the Dark Ages. Again, shout out to our good friends at Xbox and id and Bethesda for providing us with the review code. And we're excited, man. A lot to talk about. So, Attic, I'll let you set this thing off, man, with our review staff.
Yeah, so I got some stuff going on. This is how we're gonna play this, okay? Obviously we gotta be transparent. Yes, we all got the code, just like Cog said. But the first thing I want to talk about is what is your experience of Doom. I'll go first. I might as well be a Doom virgin. I played a little bit of 2016. I almost beat the other one, whatever it was called. What was it called, Saul?
Eternal.
I almost beat that one, and I did finish this one. I did finish Doom: The Dark Ages. So we'll go with King. King, your history with Doom, and it can even be that old stuff. It could be that that stuff that I was in diapers for. It could be that.
You mean the stuff that transcended video games that made
no, Doom started in 2016 to me. Okay.
Oh my God!
Wow. You wasn't born yet when I was playing Doom, because I was playing Doom on floppy disk.
There you go.
And I remember having like 5 to 6 floppy disks just to play Doom. And I played every iteration of Doom from every console.
Facts.
From the Jaguar, TurboGrafx, everywhere you could play it. Right now, you're able to play it on a router. They got a router running it. It's just crazy. Doom is for everyone. So let's get that down. I was not cool unlocking it anywhere. Doom is probably the most universal game, and I know that everyone that has played video games has touched Doom in some form or fashion somewhere. And to get to this apex of it, this is the highest crescendo that I've got a chance to play of it. So I'm telling you, I've been there from the dawn. So when Carmack and them got it together, I was there, floppy disk in hand. I got a Hewlett Packard. No, I got a Gateway PC to play it. It was a Gateway PC. I remember that. And that was my introduction to Doom. So, yes.
No doubt.
What about Doom: Dark Ages?
Oh, Doom: The Dark Ages is probably the apex predator of all the Dooms. This is like if you had a dream team to put together what you felt Doom should be in 2025. I feel people are going to be blown absolutely away with the expectations of this, because
Did you beat it?
No,
Okay.
I
What
did not
chapter did
beat
you
it.
make
I
it
made
to?
it 16.
16. Okay. Colin,
Yeah, I'm
your
close.
turn. What is your
trying to feed us?
history with the... No, it's just we get through the intros. I don't want... I want you to have your bars for the parts where your bars are meant to
I
be.
got you.
So, Colin, history with the Doom franchise, and did you beat in what chapter if you didn't beat Doom?
Got you. So, history of the Doom franchise. I would consider myself a casual Doom fan, but I recognize its importance in the pantheon of video games. And I remember King coming through with, the latest version of Doom. And I remember like Super Nintendo. I mean, that's what was it, N64 version and stuff like that.
N64.
Yeah, and just seeing it was almost a litmus test to how your console could perform and how it ran Doom, right? And when your system ran Doom, it was considered okay. They have arrived from a technological standpoint. It was always good. It was always good, dark, scary, cool, all that stuff. As far as Doom the Dark Age, obviously I have the least hours I think out of everyone here. I think I'm probably again doing other reviews, but I think I'm probably about chapter 8, 9. But I do have a lot to say, and my early impressions are, wow, for a person who has been kind of removed from Doom, this is speaking to me, and I'll explain why it's speaking. They're doing things for me that I'm like, okay. And then obviously thematically, I like where they at, being the Iron Lords, I like where they at with this. I like the capes and the shields, and we gonna talk about it. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, solve, man. I feel like you and King were the most educated on the Doom matter. And where you at? Where you at?
Yeah, Doom is a transformative sort of franchise for me. The first time I saw Doom, I was in high school. And this was like 93 and 92, 93. And we had the shareware version, which was like the first couple of levels of it, right? It's shareware. You get the shareware version. That's how stuff. Yeah, that's how we got Wolfenstein first, and then Doom, and we got the shareware version. And only one of the rich kids in the dorm had the computer good enough to run it, right? So we put it, like King says, it was multiple floppies. We throw the game on, and we had already experienced Wolfenstein. Doom just blew Wolfenstein out the water. I was like, what are these guys doing? And mind you, that I started looking at my SNES with the stank face, and I was playing Street Fighter 2. We were playing all kinds of great stuff on the SNES. When I saw Doom, I was like, oh no, wait a minute. This is next level. So I became a fan from that point on, and after that I played everything. When Hell on Earth came out in '94, like I was right there. Then when I finally got a PlayStation, playing like Final Doom, picked up Doom 64 day one on the N64. Obviously Doom 3. Doom 3 was the first PC that I bought for myself, that I said, I need to purchase a PC that I know can run Doom 3 and Half-Life 2. And so that, that's how integral those two franchises were to me. So Doom.
Did you ever play the 32X combo CD combo Doom?
I
Doom
think
Ultimate.
You showed it to me. Yeah, because I didn't play. The 32X Doom, from what I remember, was pretty decent, right?
It was Ultimate was crazy.
Decent. But we played so many bad versions of Doom. Like I would play Doom wherever it was available. And back then, it should not have been on like the PS1 version of Final Doom. Not the greatest. Doom 64 was awesome though.
Doom 64 was fire.
So obviously when they rebooted, Doom in Doom 2016, I was a little skeptical. Because like, okay, how do you bring Doom forward into the new generation to make it matter to modern gamers? And what they created was this like beautiful like dance of like kinetic movement that and you incorporated that like with having to pay attention to like your armor and your ammo and stuff like that, and your health, and doing different moves to give you that. I was like, oh wow, okay, they turned it into like this really like beautiful, quick, fast-paced thing. And then in Doom Eternal, they even turned it up a notch, right? Some people didn't like the platforming elements because they felt like it closed it, like it slowed it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But and I get it, they weren't my favorite, and I get that part. I think Doom Eternal just had so much other stuff. Like you had the flame belch, you had the grenades. There was a lot of stuff to sort of juggle and manage in Doom Eternal. Once you got it going, it was Doom 2016 at its peak level, right? So when they say Doom, the Dark Ages, I'm like, I'm not skeptical because I believe in it, but I'm like, okay, what are they going to do? They said they're going back to the drawing board. And then with the Dark Ages, as soon as you turn it on and you drop down from a ledge with the Slayer, and he's like, boom. And it's like, he's a tank now. They turned him into a tank. And they took stuff from classic Doom, where in classic Doom you could see projectiles coming at you from down the block, from halfway across, and they're coming at you slow. You're like, oh, well, hold up, let me move out the way. They brought that back in a way that feels good for this type of game, So we'll talk about the things that, I'm a little disappointed in. It's very little nitpicky stuff. We'll talk about that later. But the change they made to him here and kind of reinventing what Doom is yet again, they got it again. I'm like, wow, they were able to do it twice, twice in a 10-year span. Really, they did it. I could not be happier with it. I honestly, yeah, I'm bloviating. I love Doom. They've done it twice now where they've been able to bring this classic old franchise forward in a way that feels fresh and enjoyable. Little nitpicks that I have about stuff that they didn't retain from like Doom 2016 and Eternal, but we'll get into that.
No doubt, Doom heads are pleased.
Yes, very pleased.
So I did
Leave it
look.
to Doom heads.
The original Doom was released when I was 2. So yeah,
Yes,
I was 2 years old. 2 years old.
Shout out to that.
Shout out to that.
Here's the thing. I do feel like we're going to be speaking more in terms of gameplay because I always feel like Doom's biggest part of the pie is always gameplay. But I will say we're going to jump into the story first because I didn't expect a story into this game. Now, obviously, we don't want to spoil anything, so keep your stuff like very skew. Just if you have criticisms on the story, don't really go into much detail. But how did you feel the story of Doom: The Dark Ages? And we'll start with Saul.
So I'm about chapter 9 as well. I could have sworn that Cog was way behind me, but when he said 5 hours, I guess I just play slow. So I'm about chapter 8, 9. So if you've played Doom 2016 and if you've played Doom Eternal, this is a prequel to those games. If you've heard the term Argent Denure or Argent Energy, this is that. This is the sort of origin, I want to say the origin story of that whole conflict about, the attempts to harvest the Argent in order to, at first, create, eternal, like sort of energy for Earth. And obviously, the deals that people made with demons and hell in order to be able to harness that stuff. So this is kind of the beginnings, what it feels like the beginnings of that story. We get to see, the classic Sentinels, the Sentinels who basically, if you've played Doom Eternal, you know that the Sentinels are the ones that basically the Doom guy that you know from classic Doom is the Doom Slayer, right? And in Doom Eternal, they tell you how that comes to pass. So it is the Sentinels that bring, turn the Doom guy into the Doom Slayer and give him these supernatural abilities. Whereas in classic Doom, he was just a regular dude. So yeah, that's the gist of the story. The whole stuff, everything that has to do with Argent energy and these artifacts that sort of are the essence of Argent energy and the attempts to control it. So that's as far as I'm going to go with in terms of where the story is now. In terms of how the story is presented, I think this is really the first time that they've taken their cutscene game to another level. I was impressed with what they did. Doom 2016 was very kind of light on it. It was all sort of in-engine, very much like transitional stuff where you'd get story stuff, but it still felt like it wasn't this glossy sort of, this is a moment, put your controller down for a few minutes type of thing. In Doom Eternal, they expanded upon that a little bit more. And in this, it's full out. You will have your moments with characters there. You could, it's extremely well acted. Just for like a point of reference. So like the Doom Slayer is working with the Sentinels, but the Sentinels have a tether on him that they're controlling him because they are afraid of him. So
everybody's afraid of him. The demons are everyone.
Yeah, everybody's terrified of him. So it's like they have some sort of like Winter Soldier control over him, at least at the start of the game. That is interesting because they know that if he breaks that, which I'm assuming that fully happened at some point, they're in trouble because the Doom, the Slayer himself has his own set of morals, and the Slayer, He doesn't care about your attempts to harness Argent energy. He is there to ensure that the minions of hell do not overtake the entire universe. That's his job. That is what he is there for. He doesn't care about any of your side agendas. And once he's able to act with his own agency, anything that you could send him on a fetch quest, and he's like, once he has control of his own faculties, he's gonna destroy whatever it is that you ask him to do. He's gonna wreck that, because I don't care about that. It's about killing the demons.
It's like, I wanted you to go in and kill one demon, not blow up the whole facility they were in.
No, the whole facility's gone. So it is again, for me, what they've done here with just cinematics and telling this sort of origin story of like the whole chase for the Argent energy and all that stuff is as good as I've seen in anything. And obviously it is another step for id in terms of how they choose to tell stories, specifically in Doom, because Doom has always been, like Attic said, about the gameplay. It's always been light on story. And I'm not saying this story is like the deepest story in the world, but I love the fact that they are committed to telling. There's a through line through all of these games, and there's a through line they've created all the way back to the origin of Doom. That bringing a franchise back so many years after its inception, not a lot of people will want to do that. And they've done it. They've done it in a sense where they've filled in this entire timeline that makes sense altogether. So I'm super excited to see where the story continues to go here. I won't say anything specific about what I've seen, but like I said, every part of it is beautiful, and they've done an amazing job with just cutscenes and things of that nature. So I'm excited to see, how it all pans out in the end.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll go this time, actually. What I appreciate about Doom, and keep someone that I had to look up a YouTube video to get caught up on some Doom, because like I said, I was 2 when this franchise was born. So I had to do a little research, some research I had it going on. And one thing I will say about this is they say a lot without saying a lot. Like just the gestures that the Doomslayer, because the Doomslayer, for those of you that don't know, spoiler alert, he don't talk.
He don't talk.
So they'll just be sitting there and like some dialogue will be going on and they're talking to Doom, but he just looks at them and he's like, that just keeps walking, and like that little gesture says more than full-blown conversations in other games. And I really appreciate that. Like Doom's story, I will say, grabbed me. Usually you have to get a combination of story and you have to get a combination of gameplay to grab me completely. Like, for instance, like Expedition 33, they had those two as well. It just like Shaun Soul grabbed my soul out of my. It's like Doom had my soul in his hand. It's like the only way you get the sucker back is if you beat the game. So I did beat it. Great story. I feel like it. Good beginning, middle, and end. Very satisfying. I can't really criticize the story much. It's what you would expect from a Doom thing. He got some stuff going on, and there's going to be a lot of skull crushing, a lot of demon chasing in the game, and I respect it. I think they did a really good job, especially when you incorporate the dragon, you incorporate the mech stuff. What I appreciate is like they made these things make sense. Because like if you remember in like Doom Eternal, the little when they fought something big, it was extremely hard for Doom to like really good. Not necessarily he could take the damage, but he had a hard time dealing the damage when it comes to like giant demons. I can't remember what they're called. But because in this, none of that's a problem, because they're like, we got this mech up in this thing, man. And what I like about Doom is just, he is an expert at everything. He's getting a mech that's like straight out of Pacific Rim, and just knows how to use it. Like, so yeah, I respect that. I personally feel like I was very satisfied with the story of Doom. King, Doom, man, what's going on? How you feel about the story?
I didn't expect the story, not to this degree. And when, all right, so one, I know somebody on the team is a huge fan of Gladiator Hulk, Planet Hulk storyline, because the submission disc on his chest and the fact that the Martyrs were in control of him and deploying him as a weapon. The moment that he first drops down, like Sovereign said, and he hits the ground like a tank, it just felt like they put the armor on top of the Hulk. And when you have the Saw shield and you get the flail, you turn into like a complete fighter. Weapons are secondary because you just want to close distance, right? And the ability to close the distance in an instant makes you the most devastating weapon on that field. You can literally be yards away from a creature, lock in on that creature, hit that creature, lock in on another group, hit them, and the shock wave of your shield decimates a crowd that is a lessers, right? The only thing that can withstand that is characters or creatures of your equal that you're fighting, that you have to give them multiple hits in order to break their shield and actually hit their weak points. What I do love is the expansive nature and the speed of the game. I was led to believe that the game was slower because you saw the projectiles coming at you from other creatures. That's not true. Some creatures, you don't see the projectiles coming at you. Just getting hit with weaponry, and you have to use your shield to block, dodge, and also cut distance. So the strategy involved in the game is at the highest part, but the story aspect of the game is the most intriguing part because, to be honest with you, Doom has progressively gotten better with story. I thought that this was going to come in, be very light on story. No, you have actors and actresses and whole scenes
Story
where
is
you are paying
definitely a
attention.
foundation in this game.
It's huge. And it gives you a background and motivations of each character in the game and who's really on your side and who's really not on your side. What are you used for? What the MacGuffins are used for? And you're in the beginning of the game, you're pretty much like a seek and destroy type of creature, and things change or whatever. But the top-notch acting, I really have to say, I got to look up exactly who's doing the voice acting in the game because the guy that's the king of the Sentinels, he has an air of regalness to him, and all the characters that are in positions of stature have that air of regalness. Now, you do walk past minions that do cower in your presence, but you hear little things like, "Hey, please, no, the Slayer."
You go past them.
Yeah, like, "Oh no, the Slayer." I like little touches like that. So it lends more to the story that you are a feared weapon of destruction, and they don't know if they can control you. And the people that there are parts in the movie. Well, the movie, it feels like a movie. The game that it lends to a blockbuster movie feel. So I'm kudos to them for pulling this off because they exceeded my expectations by leaps and bounds because I didn't think that this thing would have a story to it in the fashion that it does. I thought it would be really basic and it'd be heavy on gameplay. No, it equals the gameplay with the story.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like the good thing that this game does, because like I'm not, Eternal had a story and I was engaged by it, but I was invested in this story. But Cog, man, Cog, what's going on, man? How'd you feel about so far your journeys as the Doom Slayer in Doom: The Dark Ages?
Fantastic. I mean, as a person who's like, I consider myself the casual Doom, person here. Obviously, I always defer to King and Solve in terms of Doom. Their love and passion for this franchise is way higher than me. So for me, Doom was always something that, all right, let's get in there, let's have some fun, let's beat something up, let's shoot something, and you progress. Oh no, not this. No. There is a story here. There is weight here. King was pretty much like got all my balls off. Like literally. He is a weapon of mass destruction. But the funniest thing is like, launch the Slayer. like he is like, it reminds me of those comic book stories. Like he's like this slave with this obedience disc that they can't control. But he in there ransacking stuff and destroying stuff.
What's
but
funny
it
is you see that and you see what's happening and you you can even the first thing you think of that ain't gonna work good for them in the end. Like,
Yeah,
No, it's
you can
not.
tell.
Right?
You can tell all these efforts and all these things of these gods and these kings are trying. I mean, at least the demons recognize, oh, he a threat.
Yeah, yeah,
We
Yeah.
got to get him out of here. We got to figure. As long as they have that Slayer on their side, they're gonna like they know
the
he
one
is the whole reason they gonna be in trouble.
I love how they deploy him, and then as soon as he's done, they immediately teleport him back and tether him back to
Yeah.
the one
Bro,
thing that I
knock him
would
down.
the one thing
Yeah.
that I would like, and maybe you can't do this because they're demons, but I think it would be funny if they had like a a Halo sense where if you kill the leader, sometimes some of them will run away. Because like to me, I understand they're demons, so they're not going to really have that kind of mentality. But it would be lit to like kill one of the bigger guys, and like the army just runs.
He's like, we don't want no smoke. But yeah, man, he's an awesome character. Like you said, Attic, like no words need to be said. He's just here to tear it up. And you know what? This game is like, excuse my language, is get your ish off the game. That's what I call it. Like get in there, get it off, because you're gonna feel that way with him. Like that's what I'm having a bad day. I'm gonna put in Doom Dark, and I'm gonna feel the most powerful thing, and no one's gonna be able to mess with me. That's what this is. And then you throw the production values on this almost. I'm gonna say, I'm like, it kind of makes me look at Halo like, damn, I wish y'all was like this.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I'm
thought
saying?
Master Chief was the baddest in the
Yeah.
galaxy.
No, that's the thing. Master Chief, I've
Nah.
delineated. Like Master Chief is a beast. Doom Guy is a savage.
As a savage. And it's just like, I just love the classic, what I consider the classic almost Bungie-like cutscenes, early Bungie, like when we used to play the early Halo games, and you have those classic cutscenes between the stages. And bro, the production value, the acting, it is top-notch stuff. And shout out, we're gonna talk about this. This id engine, Jesus, man.
That's
It
crazy.
I think the difference between Master Chief and Doomslayer is that its core, Master Chief is still retained a lot of his humanity. Doomslayer ain't. Like Doomslayer is just a machine that was created for one thing and one thing only.
Purpose.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it just the embodiment of the character. And while you're going through this journey, and I'm subconsciously laughing because, like you said, Addy, like this is not going to end well for certain people, thinking that they go control like their version of this Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Like they just cannot, this unstoppable force, and that's what's conveyed about the movie. And that's what I mean. It's like I feel like a movie. It's not a movie, but that's how it feels because the production value is so high. So yeah, so far so good. Story's great, and I just love the consistent build up to what cool thing he gets to do next. You're like, oh my God, I'm doing this. I'm now I'm Bruticus now. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. Like, all right. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I will say
And those little parts don't last long to get mundane. It's just enough for you to give you a departure from the same old, but then it's like right back to killing. Let's get back to people. I love that.
Get your ish off the game.
Yeah,
that's
so
why I like that.
Look, when it comes down to it, I do feel that if you guys come into this with a story, I feel like it's definitely unanimous. The story of this game is very solid. It'll keep your attention from beginning to end. And what's funny is like COG is in that 5 to 7 hour range. Saul was a little bit further than that. King's a little bit further than that. And I beat the game, and we all were intrigued by this story. So I think you guys would be definitely impressed by that. Yeah. Let's go to gameplay, because this is where there is like the story was good, man. It's like if I had a pie, sitting here looking at a pie, like a good 35% of that was the story. It was delicious, but the rest of that was that gameplay. And I want us to talk about the evolution of gameplay. Don't go too much into the weapons unless they're in like previous games. And I want us to really go into like what they did to keep you hooked on that. What they did to keep you on that wheel, and what was some of your favorite moments of playing Doom, the Dark Ages. We'll start with King first.
Okay, so the upgrade factors in the game, right? Okay, so the evolution of the gameplay from Doom has gotten smarter hiding the secrets. Doom has always been about you will hit a switch and you will hear a door open someplace and you just got to figure out where it is.
Yeah.
They've gotten a lot smarter with you got a couple of statues that's inside the area and then the MacGuffin is inside the middle behind a electric barrier and you have to find these statues someplace and destroy them in order to get said MacGuffin, or a secret key someplace that will lead to another secret area that you can get, or following a gold path. Well, when I say a gold path, there's gold trinkets across the floor. This is the monetary gain part of the game. You go and get the money, and it leads up to something else that leads to something else. So Doom was always about the secrets. Yeah, it gave you the visceral feel, and they have escalated this to times 10. But also, they went back to what made Doom smart. What made Doom smart was to be able to strafe left and right when you see bullets coming, but the game is moving at a super fast pace that you can dodge left. Like a game like Returnal does this well. And I think that was the gameplay mechanic in Returnal that kept the people enthused.
Yeah, that bullet hell kind of.
Right. So you're able to jump over bullets, you're able to slide past bullets, but then you have the colors. If it's green, you can block it back, you can absorb it, you can do something with it in the parry form. And adding that extra parry to it changes the dynamic of what Doom actually is, because parrying was never a thing. This is a thing now. Like now it's I can parry off of this. I can throw this and this shield. I can do things with it. But the shield is not just for an offensive defensive weapon. It's also a grappling hook type of weapon to get you to higher levels. So it turned your view, because Doom always was a straightforward shooter, to now I got to look up and down. The elevation in the game changed. So sometimes you got to look down to get to secret areas and around corners. For me, the secrets in Doom is what make Doom for me. I can't leave a level that doesn't say 100% complete.
Involves you, yeah, get that.
Yeah, I gotta go back. If it says 60, I gotta go back. I gotta go get that codex. I gotta go get this, and then sitting there leveling up my weapons. I thought it was smart. Shield, weapons, melee. And then melee opens up into something else. Weapons open up to something else. The smart way in which they introduce you to new weapons is incredible. You slide up on something, you see it, you interact with it, and immediately you're able to use said weapon. And then because they want you to get accustomed to it, because later on in the game they want you to be able to switch with the rotary to your favorite weapon. I think this is the most complete Doom from a gameplay standpoint that I've played ever. And it's smart in the way that this Doom is going to cater to you. If you want to be up close, you want to be melee, it's going to cater to you. If you want to shoot, you can build on shooting. If you want to worry about parrying, you could build on parrying. They didn't limit you in how you wanted to spec out your Slayer into this game. So, and I felt that was absolute freedom. So I don't know about you guys, but I took away that part of it. This was the evolution of Doom that needed to be, that was missing from Eternal. And this is showing that when some people are like, oh, it's another Doom game. This is absolutely completely different from Eternal, because Eternal was a samey Doom type of experience. This has changed the game and made it into a slight RPG.
Yeah, I agree. Saul, man, coming from more of a background than even myself when it comes to this, do you feel like they evolved the Doom franchise in a positive way? And I'm kind of curious, and we'll go back around. Do you think, because actually we'll save that for after we go to Saul, how do you feel in terms of evolving the Doom formula?
Yeah, I mean, the gameplay to me was, like I said, at the start, I was wondering, how do you go and reinvent Doom yet again? And what they did was go back to the drawing board and take from classic Doom, like I was talking about, being able to see the projectiles a mile away. If there was a criticism that was had from Doom 2016 to Doom Eternal, was that for some people, Doom Eternal was just way too fast, way too kinetic. In addition to having so many weapons at your disposal, sometimes you just forgot about certain weapons. You forgot you had the flame belts. You forgot you had the grenades. You forgot, and you would be concentrating on the shooting and the glory kills, right? So here they slow it down somewhat, so where it's still very fast, right? And the lock on with the shield allows you to have that sort of quick movement to enemies, right? Like King was saying before, like you lock on to a lower tier enemy, and all of a sudden you crash into them and you zoom into them from halfway across the battlefield, and you've leveled the entire playing field of the lower tier enemies, and you can focus on the higher tier enemies. So to me, those changes have been integral to the game feeling different because, again, this Doomslayer is considerably heavier than what you had in Doom 2016 and then Doom Eternal. So initially going into combat, my thing was, okay, let me see how this range zero works. Let me see how this parry works. Let me see how well they've incorporated it. And it was a let me see moment, but it is just amazing. These guys are amazing, and everything they create feels good to play. And the parry system, and I know we've had many games where parry systems come. Like there's a parry revolution going on in gaming right now. Everything is parrying. If you're afraid that it's going to be exacting like a Sekiro or maybe even a Clair Obscur or something like that, it is forgiving in a way that allows you to see projectiles, pick out the green ones, which are the ones that are parryable, and allow you to strafe around the red ones that are only blockable. And even with blocks, you're going to get somewhat hurt by them, and allow you to sort of kind of attack the battlefield that way. If you want to stand in the battlefield and just parry everything back to the bigger enemies, so then you could just, close distance on them and either hit them with melee or just attack them with your guns. That's all stuff that you can do. And to me, this fundamentally changes the gameplay of this, where it feels totally different from Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. So, again, they did a fantastic job in doing that. And what's great about it here is that because the world, if you talk about the level design and the world design, this is the biggest Doom game they've ever built in terms of like your ability to sort of explore the world. It's kind of an open space in a way that neither Doom 2016 was or Doom Eternal was by design, because those games, they needed to be quick and kinetic, and you needed to go from enemy to enemy to enemy to enemy. And remember, these are essentially Xbox One, PS4 games, right? So the level design had to be smaller in that sense. What they did here was create a larger battlefield, a larger world for you to explore. When King was talking about like the secrets and stuff like that, it's a lot more ample in that regard. So in doing that and making the Doomslayer heavy, you're like, okay, wait, it might feel slower because it's going to take me forever to get to these enemies. And like I was talking before, that is how that shield sort of like teleport. When you're able to lock on to enemies and sort of teleport to them, you continue to do that. And then all of a sudden you're in the mix and you're ready. It takes you right up to an enemy and it allows you like, hey, I'm going to parry this strike that they have. I'm going to parry this projectile they throw at me, but I'm going to do it from range 0, range 1, right? And then when you do that, then all of a sudden you have these other things at your disposal. You have your guns, right? Which they've sort of simplified in terms of how you upgrade them. Right. It's kind of like each gun has 2 verticals and you can pick from 2 different types of that gun, at least from what I've seen so far. Maybe it's more in terms of different types of gun within the same gun type. So that's cool because you can decide which one you want, and then you can upgrade them according to like, hey, do I want this gun to shoot 3 bullets at a time, or do I want it to apply burn to enemies and allow them to sort of die slowly, right? So you can sort of take your Doomslayer and sort of create the type of Doomslayer that you want to be. To King's point, we were saying before, you could play the game as you want to play it, right? Now, the melee aspect. Now, the melee aspect is cool because they give you 3 different melee weapons, right? You start off with the gauntlet, right? The electrified gauntlet. Then you have the flail, right? And then you have the mace, the spiked mace, right? And all of those can be upgraded to give you, different sort of power. Um, because of how this game is and because of how how focused it is on hand-to-hand combat, it works well. Now, for me, I like it, but I think the inclusion of it has come at the expense of my precious glory kills. I
I agree. I agree.
I love my glory kills. When they
Same.
introduced that in Doom 2016, I was like,
That's what
"Oh,
I was
this is
gonna say.
amazing! I
That's what I
love
was
it."
gonna say.
Because that to me is very visceral. It is. I'm gonna run up on you and I'm gonna rip your head off. I'm gonna do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yes.
And what was cool about 2016 and what they expanded on in Doom Eternal was the fact that you depending on the direction that you approach the stunned enemy from, the animation was different. You could jump on them and you stomp on them and you do one glory kill from the left, from the right, from behind, even from underneath. If you jumped up at an enemy, the glory kill was different and it gave it some variety. And it happened so quickly that I felt it didn't stop the kinetic nature of those 2 games, right? Him being this savage that he is, this tank that he is in this game, I'm like, why did you? Because essentially they gimped it to the point of almost removing it. You have certain animations that you get when whatchamacallit, when enemies are stunned, but it's very little. It's like you have one that's straight on, then you have one if you jump at them and kind of, attack their head or kind of from above, you get that. And that's pretty much it. Otherwise, when you approach a stunned enemy and you click in on the right stick, you're gonna get you're gonna kick them, you're gonna if you're gonna use your melee weapons, you're gonna hit them with the flail or the gauntlets, or you're gonna hit them with the mace, right? And I just feel like they removed those animations, and I don't see why.
They're there, but you have to do certain motions. You have to jump up in the air. You'll do a bunch of them there. I agree with you. That's the biggest criticism I can give for this game is they took a lot of the brutalness out when they got rid of those, because they're if you for instance, anything in the game, if you jump and then do it, you will do an execution. But that's it.
Yeah,
but
that's it.
You'll be fighting.
It's a repeated thing. Yeah.
You'll be fighting, and it's pretty much the same one too. Sometimes they'll change, but you'll be fighting this big thing, and he'll take his shield and cut his whole body.
Right, he cut his whole body in half. Right,
and
that happens on everything. I'm like,
And my thing is I understand, and I think they're going to get a lot of criticism for that, because that is one of the things people loved about the other games. Rightfully criticized. You criticize that, but to me, it was just man, you are in one of those scenarios where you don't have to worry about backlash, because you're fighting demons. Everyone in the world is okay with you dismantling demons.
In as gruesome a way as possible. That's what I want to see. So the last thing I'll say about 2 last things real quick. The diversity in gameplay. I will just say, and this isn't a spoiler because it's been in the promotional material. Obviously, you get to do things like pilot Pacific Rim type kaijus, and you Panzer Dragoon heads. You get to dragon. You get to swim. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, Doom guy swimming.
Yeah, and it's just the things they've done to increase the sort of the variety in gameplay, and because they're gameplay masters, everything just feels is chef kiss, right? So the final thing I will say is the shield. Yes. The shield, like King alluded to, it is used for traversal, it is used for combat, it is used for defense. Parrying is very important. I just love the fact that they were able to incorporate that. It adds to the aura of this particular Doomslayer being a tank. And at the same time, it gives him so many more options in combat. The fact that you can throw it like Captain America and it bounces off of, how many enemies and it comes back to you. They've done an amazing job of once again redefining what Doom is while still being true to what the core of Doom is. Little things from classic Doom, like I said, that they might have abandoned in their reimagining of Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. They incorporated all here. And yes, they did kind of remove certain things that I'm a little peeved about. But it's minor because again, this Doomslayer feels distinct. He is his own character, and you're still going to feel that visceral, sort of moment to moment. Everywhere around you, there's an enemy type of combat that you got from Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. It's just more based on not moving around, standing your ground, and fighting and parrying and shooting and doing all this kind of stuff. So once again, gameplay, chef's kiss. Big.
Yeah, I have to agree. One thing I can really appreciate when it comes to that is I really appreciate that shield. I have to really give them props that they have done something make me want to use a shield. You guys know I am. I'm an aggressive player by heart, by nature. You will not catch me dead hiding behind a shield unless it's Elden Ring.
That big thumbnail shield.
But they gave me a shield that you would normally look at as a defensive mechanism. It said, no, this thing you could do more damage than the guns. There would be certain opportunities where like I'm looking around because Doom is very quick paced. Who on the field is the most effective against me? And you want to fight your way down the line. And so you'll be sitting there, you'll jump up and you start getting shot at. It reminds me like anime. Remember neither anime or what you just watched in Solo Leveling King, where he's fighting all those people on the battlefield. He realizes it's the sorcerers, and he just jumps up and is like, "Oh, it's you!" And he reaches out and grabs them. And so what I really enjoy about that, because that shield, you brought it up and it gives you that little reticle and you'll see it, and it's like in the moment that red just highlights that dude that needs to be off this field right now, and you just rush up, hit him, and then like it gives you like a little recoil. You come back and you switch to the shotgun, shoot him, and by the time you land, 3 here try to shoot you, and you just rotate to the right, because even though these 3 are coming after you, your objective is still the dude that you were trying to kill. So your shit, and then the moment you see that glow, you just smile because you're like, I got you. You are done. And then sometimes
you turn the color that I like.
Yeah, purple.
That's purple. I get excited.
That's the biggest criticism I can give to the game. It's like they made that moment nice where you see that color, but they took that satisfaction.
I'm with y'all on that
Like
part.
you take the shit. Like imagine some of the kill animations they could have done.
Yeah, they could have done. I mean, the motto of the series is rip and tear until it is done. Like, so they took a little bit of the ripping and tearing away in the way that I like it anyway.
Yeah, and I do think that
went to rip and run.
that is a big thing to take away. That is a big thing to take away, because I'm sitting here and it's just. I'm like, what? So
I don't like when I kick them. I
don't like when I kick them.
That's why I started jumping every time I did it. I don't care if it's the same animation. I gotta see me rip these things apart. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, man, you have the shield. And I'm just imagining like a Captain America moment where you throw it through the bottom one and it comes back and it decapitates.
Like MK fatality moments. I'm like, come on, man.
Whoa, that's it.
Or you get like a team execution where like you throw the sword and you shotgun the one on the right and it comes back and hits
that would have been amazing. My God. So, they spoke about it briefly. They spoke about it and they said that people complained that it slowed things down too much from the core moment to moment shooting gameplay. I'm like, I don't agree, but whatever. I get it.
I use it to get away from bullets.
Yeah.
I think
so. Sorry, but in Doom Eternal, when I'm in that animation, I can't be shot.
You can't be shot, right?
So I get them a week as much as possible, and then I go from animation to animation to animation.
Yep. I think they probably took the wrong criticism where they're like, because Doom Eternal was more aerial, like they wanted you to be as fast as possible, not necessarily on the ground. and that slowed it down a lot too. And I think there could have been ways, like maybe you just press it really quick and it just does the like what, like, or you
Or they could
hold
have had
it.
a toggle.
Yeah, or you hold, or you could turn it on and off. Like to me,
Right?
that is such an iconic part of the Doom franchise where they should have at least gave you the option. Do you want the brutal or you want the pew? Because to me, I missed it so much. Every time I hit someone, I was like, I'm hyped, but I'm like, I know I should be making that thing having a bad day, and you got off so easy.
And that's the thing, they could have still given you the melee weapons that they gave you, just gave you glory kills with those weapons.
Those weapons,
Right. And I would have been elated, you know. But
what I respect about it the most is, look, I did with the other Dooms is that I played a little bit of 2016. This game actually makes me want to go back and finish both of those games. But what I appreciate on this one that I didn't really get with Eternal, like sometimes in the Eternal, if like I'm hurting so much, the first thing I'm going for is what do I need to keep myself afloat. I never felt that way on this. So like there'd be times where my health is at 5%. And I'm like, I can't turn around because that will kill me quicker than going further and trying to shotgun this dude to death so I can get a kill animation.
Yeah.
Like,
well, what I noticed is because the world is bigger, right, and it's more open, there are more things to pick up in terms of power ups and just health. As opposed to in Doom Eternal, Doom 2016, like I said, because the point was to go from enemy to enemy, and you decide how you dispatch them depending on what you need, whether it was health, whether it was armor, whether it was ammo, right? So here they still have that, but because the battlefield is a lot wider, I found like I'm always finding health pickups. I'm always finding like shield pickups. In addition to, if you kill the enemy this way, you get more ammo, you get more health, you get more shield. Yeah.
No, I agree. I'll jump in, what you guys are saying. I agree. I think for me as the, again, super casual, when I first started playing, in my mind, I'm like, okay, classic Doom. Doom has always been like, I don't call it sliding across the floor, but moving at this frenetic pace across the floor where you just have side-to-side movement type of action. So I'm like, okay, classic Doom, secret path, like Kings talk about. You get your armor, you get your little blue potions. I'm like, this is stuff we grew up with for years. I'm like, and the secret areas and all that. But this combat, this is for me. This is to speak to my casual self, to get me back into this franchise, because it's like you said, if you lock on and then you left trigger, you close the distance. They are encouraging you to get up close and personal and brutal in this combat. And I like that. That aspect is amazing to me. So it's a clear design decision that they go on. But that shield is a game changer. The fact that I am parrying bullet hell. When I get excited when I see green, I'm like, "Oh, you throwing green? You throwing green at me?"
Yeah.
You know the one thing, Cog, I was mad excited when I saw. It didn't matter what part of the game, when I saw a line of shields. And I saw a line of shields. I was like, "Oh, I'm about to get some armor.
Y'all about to get it." Bro, and I got the joint where I make them burn, and then I make them spit out armor for me.
Yeah,
I'm doing all type of stuff with the shoddy. So right now I'm just doing my shoddy flow, but also the energy weapon joint that can weaken
charges them up.
Yeah, charges them up
and blows up shields.
Captain America and bloop, 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 bloop. That's it. So I love that aspect. But y'all nailed it. My only criticism was like, damn, it's just not brutal enough on the finishers. They'll set them up and you see they turn the color, they ready to get combo, you do the power gauntlet combo thing, and it's like a 1-2, and then it's like boot. And I'm like,
I didn't know that was missing until I said, wait a second, let me see the difference between this and Eternal. And I put on Eternal, I was like, oh,
that's
like,
the difference.
I said the regular dudes, I could just mangle them.
Yeah.
And I said, and then I went back. I said, oh, they took mangle out. Mangle is no longer available. but then when I do a mangling, I'm like, yeah, I feel satisfied. I got mangle out.
Now I will say what's satisfying for me as a person who loves parry against that stuff. I think you probably appreciate. I like when the enemy tries to melee you, you counter and stun them. That feels amazing.
That feels amazing because it sets you up immediately for a shield dash, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it feels so good.
And it's funny is that the guns almost feel secondary in this
Yep.
game. Like this is like, yo, get in the mix.
It's Mike Tyson fighting.
Yo, and you look like Addict said, you look for who is the threat, the target, and some of these little mini bosses, and they want to be all what happened?
No, I was like, yeah. Oh, get the biggest dude in the room.
Big dude on that little animal riding that animal.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That guy.
Yeah. All right, I got you. I see you will be the problem. All the dudes that got the tough skin that they don't want me to get my shield off. All right, so I'm gonna run down on you. Like you get to pick and choose how you want to do it. So yeah, that's the joy.
So he got armor. Get that off his back.
It's a dance. It really is. It's a dance of moving around, and I think it's a very cool like style of play that I know. I guess I was curious because you guys are the Doom guys. Like for me, I'm like I love this, but I was like I wonder if the purist who wants it to be more about like gunplay would be upset because I like this. I love this. It's very visceral, up close and personal, and the parrying to me adds a whole nother dimension. So I don't know how y'all feel about the other.
Well, the weapons that they do use and introduced, and the new ones that they do use and introduce are fulfilling.
Yeah.
But they've made the melee so enticing that this is the first Doom game that I want to be up in their face.
Yes.
Like I want to hit you with what I got. Like, come here. Like, get over here. And I put all my joint into melee to reduce the time. Right. So because there's a cooldown. Like you get off a couple of hits and then there's a cooldown. You can find a gauntlet to refresh it or whatever. I felt that if I loaded up all my experience on the melee, I get up in your section. I'm a different beast. I get you woozy. I'm like, I'll stay right there. I'll be right back. Yep. Hey man, like bro, and it feel good. Yeah.
And speaking of woozy, y'all know we allowed to talk about the Titanfall situation, Rock'em Sock'em Titanfall with that alcohol.
We can talk about the robot because they showed it. They showed
the dragon flying.
Okay, cool. Because that when you get up in one of them joints, and it's like, yo, throw the combination.
They got parries with that.
And then they got the snuff from a distance.
Oh, that long distance,
stuff. When you fighting demons, like it is wild, crazy what we are doing right now. Like, this is out of control. Then I feel like you a combiner. Like I'm busting through bridges and like they let you feel super
Are
powerful.
you like me?
What you do?
That you don't feel complete unless you decimate an area completely.
Yes.
You gotta run through everything.
I gotta break up the bridges, walk through decimate, show my power and destruction.
Because at the end of every chapter, it tells you like how much of the chapter you completed in terms of like collectibles and stuff. Mine looks like a mixer. Like 30, 60, 80. But the good thing is, I will say, we can go to exploration a little bit. The exploration on this game is very rewarding. Like they have these big open areas, and like the way you level up stuff in here is you fight these elite creatures, and you literally put your hand into them and rip out their heart, and you break it in your hand. So I'm sitting here like, it's like I told you, I don't mind doing like going on a collectathon on a game, but it's got to be something I feel benefits me. Not no book bags on rooftops, not no feathers, nothing like that. It's got to be something, but more health,
hearts and demons,
more health, more
make
armor,
him feel powerful,
more ammo for all my guns. Yeah, you speaking my language now. I might go collect upon a little bit.
You didn't go collect the nice little Doom plushie. You didn't find that.
I found it.
What's funny? The first one I picked up, I would see it if it was right there, like I was right next to it. But like the first one I picked up, and it's like a little plushie. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? Like realistically, what am I gonna do with this?
It's a collector.
So yeah, I will say that the exploration on this game is good. And if you get me to look for stuff, you did a good job explaining what the rewards are for looking for stuff. Because I'm going to tell you, there's so many times I play like Assassin's Creed Shadows or RPGs in general. I just went through an expedition where like those white neurons are like, oh, I need you to go. No, I'm going to just kill you because I'm not doing whatever you doing. So I'm not looking for nothing. You're not doing that. Like it'll be like those like people love the question marks above NPCs' heads. I get annoyed by that because I listen to it and he's like, "Oh, village next door is being hit by demons." That sounds like a you problem. What are you gonna do for me now? If you make it if you make it enticing for me, then it becomes a me problem. But right now it's a you problem, and I need you to make it a me problem. Like
savage. I respect it. I respect the hustle. I mean, I'll just follow back because I know you probably have guys up longer in the game and have more to talk about with the expiration than me. But I liked it. I think for me, King said it earlier, like when they utilized the shield also for traversal, which was very interesting to be like embedded in the thing, kind of pull yourself forward, kind of thing. I actually like the clambering up because you feel very heavy. It's like clank, 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 and you go up, right? So I've got you just say.
Yeah, and they simplified it, right? One of the complaints that people had about like the platforming parts of Doom Eternal is like, I don't want to be platforming with the Doom Slayer, right? There was plenty of platforming stuff. So what they did here is they simplified it completely. You just attach to the wall. It kind of goes up by himself, I think.
Yeah, in a way.
And that's it. So again, it's very simplified from Doom Eternal, and it's kind of welcome. Like for me, you're still able to get like the verticality of some of these stages without having it being a puzzle that kind of slows down the pace of the gameplay, which was what the criticism was, right? So I like the fact that you just clamber onto stuff and just.
I thought that was cool.
It makes it believable too in terms of a like, okay, in Eternal you did like the hook shot stuff a lot where you go on those little things and like swing yourself to another one. As Doom, that's crazy if you think about it. Doom Slayer is doing like some Olympic stuff, but like you throwing yourself up a wall. That's believable as Doom Slayer because it's not like he's gonna teleport. He's not magical to that degree. He's very physical in terms of if I'm going up there, I'm gonna get up there. The surrounding areas might not like how I get up there.
Everything he does is brutish. There's nothing smooth about what he does.
Everything has weight, and like I said, you just feel heavy. You feel like and I love it. And shout out to the sound team, right? The sound team,
very underrated.
With really doing that stuff, and then even with the exploration, when you get to certain pockets, y'all call me heavy metal. This is the heavy metal game. You know what I'm saying? They like to ratchet it up, but you in some action-packed situation, and they feel like, okay, we're going to send hordes of things at you right now. We want to see you survive. Work it out. Okay, do it up.
I was a little worried when I heard that it wasn't Mick Gordon doing the soundtrack, right?
I was like,
okay. But it's Finishing Move, and Finishing Move that this company has done. They like Borderlands 3, they did Halo Wars 2, so they're no slouches, and it shows. I think they have a perfect mix of that sort of like hard metal that you expect from, but again, it has a weight to it that feels like it's not futuristic. It feels like it's Dark Ages. It feels like it's very grim, dark in that way. So they do a very good job of conveying that. The question for you guys, in terms of now that we talk about sound quickly, felt in some instances, not always, but I felt like some of the guns didn't sound as bombastic that I remember. I'm like, wait a minute. Some of these guns don't feel as bombastic. Like when I use the super shotgun, I feel it. But for some reason, I don't know. And I just kind of played some Eternal to kind of get the feel back. I'm like, they feel like you really feel it in Eternal. You really hear it in Eternal. And for whatever reason, maybe it's because the fact that the battlefield is bigger and wider, that it kind of the scope of the sound is kind of I won't say tinier or tinier, but it just feels like it's dissipated, because of the bigger
like the
environment.
The sound and audio design has been like lowered on priority list.
Yeah, not necessarily priority, but it does feel because the world is bigger. For whatever reason, it doesn't feel like it's as impactful as like when you're, in Eternal, like you're always up on somebody's face, moving from one thing to the next. I just noticed that. I was like, damn, like I didn't feel like that gun popped when I shot this dude, But that was just me.
No, it's definitely a valid point because I was saying, like when I got a new gun. And I'm thinking this gun is gonna sound like bam, 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 but it sounded like I was just like, Okay, yeah. Weapon sound. Not all of them is it.
Is yeah.
Shotgun always got that boom,
Always. And then the
Yeah.
right?
the
The
super
super
shotgun is just
shotgun.
beast.
shotties,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
And I would
But
assume BFG Classic would probably make some
Well, no,
return.
so the
I
BFG,
I don't
they
think we can hear it.
Oh, we
well,
can't talk about that. Okay.
let's just say it's different.
Okay, got you. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
But as long as that's like a staple
like,
of the
Yeah, oh
okay, you
series,
yeah.
know what? You all
so
right?
that
You know what
okay,
game, what gun they did show that was inside the trailer?
Mm.
They've been showing the skull gun, the skull crusher.
Oh yeah, Skull
Yeah.
Crusher.
The
I thought
pulverizer. I
it
think
would,
that's what it called. The
yeah,
pulverizer.
the
Yeah,
pulverizer.
Pulverizer.
I didn't
I
use it a
thought
lot.
it would be chunky. I thought
Mm.
it would have chunky sounds. You're
Mhm.
crushing skulls,
Mm.
shooting skulls.
You don't get it.
I thought I was gonna get that chronic
Yeah.
and just spitting out chunks of skull. And I didn't get that. I
Mhm.
really was looking for that. And I really believe, like really honestly,
Mhm.
these guys, whoever was on the team was real Avengers fans. They was probably mad with these Avengers movies and said the Hulk ain't the Hulk. We're gonna have that Thor gauntlet because it really feels like okay, it feels like you have the Destroyer's armor,
Mm.
you've put the Hulk in it, and you gave it Captain America's shield.
Yeah.
And you're using Hawkeye's weapons on some weapons with a little bit of Black Widow mixed in and a little bit of Iron Man when you're doing with the flying on the back of the dragon.
Dragon.
The sound on the guns has taken a back seat to
Mhm.
the visceral feel and sounds of the weapon, the melee weapons, and the inside crushing, because those are satisfying.
Mhm.
Those like when you hit somebody, it feels like a
When you
real
hit
thump.
somebody, when you parry something, it's like bong, you hear it like
Yeah,
bong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
definitely. Yeah.
the gun sounds I feel took a step back
Mhm.
in that whole moment, and
Okay.
and I think it's a missable moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought it was me. I thought it was me.
No, it's not you because that's what I know is overall. I felt like they are making an intent focus that the melee is the focus of the game,
Game,
and guns
yeah.
almost feel secondary. Is even though
Yeah.
when you get cool guns, yeah, they look dope, but I was like waiting for that, you know what I'm saying, that punch or that boom, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Mm-mm.
But that's like again my little nitpick with it.
Yeah, it's minor stuff
Yeah.
that we got with it, but
Mhm.
again, and normal Doom players are going to recognize it, realize it,
Yeah.
and then vocalize it. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I was going to go into the audio, but I do feel like we kind of went over
Yeah.
that. One thing I want to talk to is about is like just your favorite moments. Obviously don't talk about the story, but just your favorite moments. I just want one from everyone.
Okay.
We'll start with King.
Dragon. Dragon. I waited because I seen the trailers, and when he would shoot out of the dragon, he's flying. I was like, please don't mess up the flying sequences, please. Is it gonna be on rails or am I gonna be open world? What is it gonna be? I'm gonna just say this.
Mhm.
It is the most satisfying moment of getting the dragon, knowing that that's his dragon.
Yeah, they were like, it's a whole level you do to get to it,
To
and
get to it.
you keep hearing them over the comms like, "Prepare the dragon for the Slayer."
Yes!
He's 5 minutes away or whatever. Like,
Yes!
You
he's
know what
almost here.
I know. Yeah, the dragon's definitely one. The only thing I would actually give criticism a little bit when it comes to the dragon is I don't like the railing thing that was going on there. I understand gameplay wise, it makes more sense to do that, but it would be like, it'd be like dodge left, like dodge right, like dodge up. I felt like they could have did that a little bit better, but I really enjoyed what I played with the dragon.
But that comes out of straight from Panzer Dragoon and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So for us that are Panzer Dragoon heads that haven't got a good dragon game, what was that dragon game for PlayStation?
It was Lair.
Yeah, Lair. I've missed a good dragon game. And to put this in there just as a breakaway from the normal visceral combat, it was fulfilling for me to destroy things and to be able to deploy into stuff on a larger scale because you're flying up high but able to get down low into the ground to macro fight. I thought it was incredible. I thought that was satisfying. That was what I was looking for. And then when I got a chance to do it, it was the most satisfying aspect of it because it realized my hopes, and I'm happy for that. Like that was whoever added it, whoever said, "I think we need dragons." I like you, and I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
dope
I would
moment.
say
Yeah.
my favorite
What's yours?
moment. It's a bunch of moments, but I want to bring it up in this particular thing. Is when that weapon paw dropped down. Like I don't know why, because when I saw that, like the endorphins, I'm like, oh, I'm about to kill these dragons, something new. Like, and then you pick it up, and I love how like he looks at it, and like it buckles
Yeah,
up,
he
and
be
the
he be
weapon
into his
moves.
weapon
Like,
Yeah.
pickups. He into that. Like he gives it a whole look down and breakdown when he gets
Yeah.
home.
I'm
He
just
be excited.
imagining when he's holding this and he's just a big grin in his face and he's like, "Oh, we about to do some damage."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Saul? What's your moment?
I mean, King took the one because again, we feel the same way about it. It is the Panzer Dragoon moment. Like I haven't played like they did a Panzer Dragoon remake a while ago. Obviously, Panzer Dragoon Order on the on the Xbox. But this was like I said, let me see how this controls. But again, it's id. It controls perfectly, and it was just like and the thing is, you're confined to this area, right? It's not like you're flying in an open world. But the level of control they give you of how you descend, how you ascend, how you have how you perfect dodge in order to be able to take down these ships and stuff like that. It's like, oh, they give you a whole gameplay system with this that is like as good as you're gonna find anywhere. And they did it for this small little like, stage or whatever. And then according to Addict, there's more of them. Cool. I saw one. I was like, oh damn, they did it one time.
No,
This is amazing.
and I would say you came across like one of the lighter ones. Like the intro
Okay.
ones is definitely one of the lighter ones.
Lighter, okay, but so apart from that, and I'll tag team this with you, Cog, because I'm sure it's the kaiju moment. I'm
You
sure
already
it
know
is.
where I'm
'Cause
going
that's
with
that for where we're at in the game. Those two are the biggest things, and the kaiju moment to me, like it was when I saw it. So the first thing when I saw the two kaijus fighting initially, right? I stopped to watch it. I said, "Let me see how this
Yeah, let me see
plays
what's
out."
gonna go down. Yeah, yeah.
In the whole so when the demon when the demon beats the brakes off of the other guy and he smashes him with the mace and he just keeps beating him down like, oh no. I said, I know at some point. And the thing is, in Doom Eternal, you saw this stuff in the background. You didn't play it.
never do that.
Couldn't do it, right? So they said, nah, we're gonna let you do it. When it happens, it's such a like, oh damn, this like they really just said we're gonna Pacific Rim this. You're gonna
Yes.
get into this mech, to this kaiju, and you're gonna have a neural link with it, and you're gonna control it. I'm like, oh okay, cool, perfect. And it was just it's so much fun, and the fact that again, the perfect controls, the fun controls, the parrying, the melee stuff transfers so beautifully to that moment. It was fun to just be able to like bowl over dudes and just like stomp on the little army behind me, like underneath you, just step on them and crush them and just walk through entire buildings and stuff. It was awesome. So again, I know there's more of that to come, but where I'm at though, the dragon and this were the two big moments. I was like, oh okay, they doing this is special.
Yeah, for me, you're like you say, Saul. It's literally, y'all know me, the Devastator fan from Transform. Any combine anything that allows you to be larger than life and tower over, and the fact that they let you smash through buildings and bridges and like you feel so epic. Then like again, they got parrying and up and close and personal. Like it is so satisfying. And again, I'm not haven't got my Transformers game, so I'm living through this. This is like this is what I want to do to y'all right now. And they letting us fulfill that power fantasy. And I can see like King, like you are, a Godzilla the guy. Like when they are minuscule to you like that, it's such an adrenaline rush. And the fact that Doom had the creativity to say, we are gonna allow them to fulfill these power fantasies. Like super dope, man. So yeah, I said, wow, I'm in.
You can make the argument that the dragon sections and the giant mech sections is so not like Doom, and they allow them to test that out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really quite like I said, the game does a fantastic job of onboarding you onto every new mechanic. So they let you get into it, and it's like, okay, pause.
Mm-hmm.
You
This. Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
You want to hit them with the snuff punch from down the block, and then from
Yep.
there, and then in game, and with a good practice. Okay, parry with this, do that, and they'll
Yep.
pause. They let you unpause, and then so it's great to get you right into the mix. So you're maximizing all the move set, everything that you need to do, and then from there, you're off to the races. They've
Yeah,
given you the tool set.
they're like, we gave you the
Go ahead.
tools. Now, if you suck at using these tools, you're just
Yeah,
gonna keep
that's
dying.
on you. We told you what
Facts.
to do, and the world is your playground. Go destroy. And the last thing I said, we touch about the open world. It's like open hub, right? In a way, it's like hub
Yep.
world. You press that map. The maps are pretty substantial. There's
Yeah.
to go around. I'm like, damn, this ain't the Doom I grew up with. Like Doom
The,
before was like more linear, and like
Yep.
this
the
is
only
like
thing I didn't
really,
like about the map is they wouldn't let you like make markers or highlight something.
yeah,
Yeah.
highlight
That's
stuff,
the
yeah.
only criticism I would give on the map.
I
Yeah.
think that's because of the whole
The
secret
secrets.
stuff.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
purposely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I would have liked it, but I think they're purposely doing that because they're holding on to the old Doom tropes of
Right.
how many secrets you find in a map,
And you can only tell by visual markers,
markers
not
and stuff like that.
markers.
Mhm.
I did
virtually.
find it funny that like some places you go, and they'll have like it almost like a Batman strobe, like blue key. And I'm like, it's
Yeah.
there. And I'm like,
It's
okay,
there, go
all
get it.
right, I'll figure it out. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
strobe.
Kind of remind me of like the old Tony Hawk games where they have like the
Yeah.
random tape at the top and it's floating.
Yeah,
and
they
it
love
rotates.
they love teasing like, yo, gold,
Yeah.
gold's over here. You got to figure out how to
Yeah,
get it
you
though. You
gotta
can't
get
get through
it,
this glass.
though.
I'm like, all right,
I'll be like, okay, so I see that.
I see
but
that.
It's in the back of your mind.
Yes.
I gotta get that. I'm not leaving this place till I get that.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then last thing is obviously the upgrade system and keeping that within the map. So like you can always go back to it if you find more gold and stuff like that. That's an interesting mechanic. But yeah, I like the exploration. I love and back to that moment. Yeah, of course the mechs and stuff like. But the fact that they have these beastie moments is just
Yeah.
insane. It takes the game to the next level.
Yeah. So we're going to go around the table. You're going to give your final thoughts, your conclusions, and then I want your does this get the iron seal from you?
So real quick before we do that, can we talk about the platforms we played it on and performance?
Oh, yeah, we can do
We
that.
forgot about
Yeah.
that. That was very key. Yes. Set it off. Okay.
It's
So-
all, obviously, you're
okay,
the
so-
only one that played out on something different.
Set it off. Man.
So I played it on PC, right? And I was able to play it on 3 different platforms, right? So I was able to play it on Nvidia, right? With whatchamacallit, with
You got monies.
so I had the 4090, right? I had a 49, and then the AMD build with the 7900 XTX, right? And also the ROG Ally X. So shout out to Bethesda for giving us the pre-release drivers. So whatever drivers you were rocking at the time we got the game were not going to work with this game. So, usually when a brand new game drops, you'll get updated drivers specifically for that game, especially on, in the NVIDIA side. Sometimes AMD is a little bit slower, but thankfully they sent out pre-release drivers for all of that. So, what can I say? Once I installed those drivers and went in, I was running both on both systems of the main big systems, running it at, Ultra Nightmare, which is the highest fidelity level. Running, DLSS on quality mode, right? Upscaling to 4K, getting over 100 FPS, right?
Wow.
Beautiful, smooth experience. On AMD, same thing, running FSR, quality mode as well. Ultra Nightmare, highest, fidelity, highest everything, running absolutely beautifully. So again, when these games have always traditionally run super well, they're so fast paced, they have to run well, and this is no exception. I saw very little in terms of any sort of hiccups or anything like that. Now, the Doom 2016 and Eternal have traditionally run well also on handhelds, right? Eternal runs great, 2016 runs great. On the ROG Ally X, so initially, I like to only install the drivers that are specific to the mobile version of that. Even though the ROG Ally X is just a Windows PC, I don't like to sideload normally just regular drivers, but I did for this because when I tried to just straight out play it, it crashed. Like, oh, nope, not for you. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to install the AMD driver. And what happens is installing the base AMD driver as opposed to one that they sort of create specifically for the Ally. It kind of like some of the whatchamacallit, Armory Crate doesn't work like perfectly great. The AMD Adrenaline app kind of it gets funky, but apart from that, it made the game, be able to run nicely. Now, this is a demanding game. At some point, the game is going to receive like full path tracing, so that's going to make the game even more beautiful, and which is crazy. So as of now, running these drivers on the Ally X, I have to run everything at low, with FSR in performance. I have it in might have it in quality mode. Not with frame gen. So the thing is, with frame gen, it has built-in frame gen to the game, right? Which is usually the advisable way once you have frame gen. They just added MF 2.1 to the RAG Ally X, so hardware frame gen. I have not had a chance to try that, as opposed to the in-game frame gen. But maybe it was just that it was broken initially. I joined the frame gen and it just cut my FPS in half. So something was buggy with that. And I also didn't use lossless scaling just yet, which is another sort of the frame gen sort of app that you kind of can use in conjunction to sort of, up your frames. So, but that said, at those settings, and I always play plugged in, right? So I'm playing at a 30-watt TDP. I don't really play my ROG Ally while it's not plugged in. I always have it, try to get the most power out of it as possible.
Get that max.
So in doing that, having it low settings, FSR, quality or performance, I don't remember. I got it running at pretty steady 60. Right. So it's running nicely. It ain't as pretty as I'd like it to be, but it's running nicely. It's definitely playable. And I only expect that to improve. So yeah, that's kind of my experience with the game. But overall, a masterfully crafted game. It runs just as smooth as you expect the Doom game to run. So
that's good. And when it comes to the performance on the Xbox Series X, it's what I played on. I guess me, Cog, and King can just go on this at the same time. I didn't really have no issues. I did have a couple, there's one little glitch where I had to restart to the last checkpoint. I did hear from another person that was playing it that he had a couple minor bugs, but it wasn't really anything I don't think you're going to play this and expect any form of a buggy mess. For the most part, you might have a little bit of jank. I went through the whole game really with no issues, but I can only speak for myself.
Yeah, no, I mean, same thing for me. I mean, it was on Series X. It's smooth, it's gorgeous. I definitely felt 60 frames. I didn't feel any losing of frames, anything. I didn't feel any technical issues. I felt this. I have to give credit to id, man. Whatever that id tech is going on over there. It is spectacular. It really is. And what it is, what I noticed it a lot with the skyboxes. The skyboxes are really huge. They have so much stuff going on in the background. A lot of
spaceships.
Spaceships. There's all type of stuff. The enemy variety, the enemy density. There's tons of things on screen. It's always fast break. It's always kinetic. I think that, as far as the overall, experience graphically, it's a look. I'm actually curious. I was going to say King, because I know King sometimes puts things on Little Man with a series. I don't know if you had a chance, but I was just curious about S would run it. But
the fidelity on the S is outstanding.
You did run it. Okay.
Yeah. Any 120 FPS mode?
I didn't. You know what? I didn't even think about doing it. I was so crunched with time with this.
Yeah.
I did bring Little Man down. To see on this television. Because I want to compare. Slightly a little bit blurrier, slightly a little bit less resolution. That's what I took from it. But I was like, all right, bye, little guy. Went right back to the Series X. And I'm just blown away by what this thing is able to deliver at the frame rate that is able to deliver it with all the stuff that's going on. I probably think id Tech is probably the best suited for consoles. And PCs alike, because this is the one tech that can honestly be universal. Because wherever you play it at, you're going to probably get pretty much the same experience as far as speed goes, as far as delivering high fidelity graphics and robust sound. So I think the id Tech, as much as other engines get praise, I think this thing needs to be praised a whole lot more and used more. I want to see the Quake. I want to see Quake. I'm looking because playing this game, it was aspects of this game that made me long for a Quake game, made me long for those
Mhm.
Quake matches, those and I'm pretty sure that they're probably working on something in the background using this id Tech to get us a
Well, it's
nice Quake game.
yeah, I hope they're working on Quake, absolutely. But you know, the Wolfenstein games are
Oh
using
yeah.
id Tech as well,
Oh yeah.
right? It's like
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
so that whole family is using that id Tech because
Oh yeah.
it is like it's kind of like black magic because for them to get the fidelity that they get out of these games, the sort of variety in terms of like architecture that they're able to create, how distinct this game looks from Eternal and from Doom
Yeah.
2016, and to have it move the way it does, like bro, like I can get Eternal on the PC running like over 200 FPS. And
Yeah.
it's just like it's insane. It's like what are we doing here? Like what are we
Yeah,
doing
bro.
here?
It's it,
And it's
it's
buttery smooth.
it's sorcery, and let's not forget what they've done. They used it in a version of the tech with Indiana Jones and the
Yes.
Yeah.
sequel. So it's showing the
Very
versatility of the
versatile.
engine,
Yeah.
and remember the scalability we saw on the Series S. We like, wow, how are they doing this?
Hmm.
Because that was a concern, based on the performance of that. And these games look spectacular. They are looking. And let's not talk about them cinematics. Like them
Hmm.
cinematics, popping. Like
Yeah.
this
It
is look.
doesn't. I think the engine is, and sorry for cutting you off,
No,
God.
please look. Go
I
ahead.
think the engine is probably the most efficient engine. I
Yes.
don't think it has a lot of bloat. I don't think it has a lot of memory loss, a lot of
Mhm.
pack loss. I think the engine itself is probably one of the best coded engines
Yeah.
in the industry right now. Because I forgot about the Indiana Jones part until you just brought that up right now. And of course, we know Wolfenstein, but
Mhm.
again, the distinction between all those games to look completely
Look
different, don't have
different.
that samey
Samey
feel.
feel.
Right.
Yeah.
With other engines, you
You
get
kind
that
of know.
samey feel.
Yeah.
Oh
You're
yeah,
like,
this is
okay.
that engine,
Yeah.
type of thing. No, I'm super impressed.
Yeah. No doubt. So what we landing on? Attic, we doing you said Iron
Yeah,
Seal stuff now? What we doing?
Give your. I mean, at this point, we've done our final impressions.
Mm.
I want your. Does this get the iron silver approval from you?
Oh yes.
Scott King, is it
Yeah,
synonymous?
yeah.
It gets the whole IOP's iron silver approval.
Oh,
Yeah,
I, I
100%.
I gotta say I got a disclaimer. Thank you
Thank you,
Bethesda
Bethesda.
for sending me the controller so I can enjoy Doom and like no other. And also I have the rap, so I'm fully
You
invested.
do a full disclosure now.
Yeah, full disclosure, I'm
That's supposed to be at
compromised.
the start of the video,
That's
King.
supposed to
Yeah.
start, but okay.
Sorry.
Now people are going to say we're holding info till too late. I
Yeah,
think
that's right.
I think we could all agree this is it's on all platforms. It's in Game Pass. It's definitely worth your money. It's worth your time. I highly recommend it. I think we can all agree on that. It's got that
Yeah,
I
iron
think
silver approval.
Yeah, for me, this I want to add on. This one snuck up on me as a person. Again, I'm the casual Doom guy. I'll jump and see what's going on, but I consider you guys are the Doom audience, and I ain't gonna front. I was just like, wow, it's got a little goaty energy on certain things, at least a contender. You know what I mean? Because I knew it would be good, but I'm like, I didn't expect to be engrossed like this, and I'm like, all right, y'all got something. So yeah, salute to that. I definitely want to give it its kudos that because they have a polished, complete product and they're telling a great story, it actually ranked higher than my expectations. I'm curious to see how it lands with other people who also review it, but I definitely get it's going to get some nominations here.
Yeah.
Got an energy for certain things, especially this kinetic style. But what does yourself like as the veteran of the series? One of the people always rocks with it.
I just I just love the fact that they were able to sort of reinvent what Doom is yet again
Yet again,
by once again though just going back to the blueprint
yeah.
and taking stuff from that original game and just expanding upon it in a way that makes sense and is fun and enjoyable in 2025, and just being able to, like, obviously the id that exists now is not Carmack, it's not Romero, but these guys know what they're doing. They know what Doom is. They know what they want to extract from it. And the fact that they could reboot this series in 2016 after failed attempts to reboot it, to sort of to create Doom 4 after Doom 3 was so different from
Right.
prior Dooms, right? And they failed and they had to restart again, and they came to what came to be known as Doom 2016, and then taking that and seeing how people love that and saying, okay, we can do more with it, and
Yeah.
just going to the next level with Eternal. And then essentially in think about it, trilogies have, when you think about trilogies, there's there's production level improvements. They make the game bigger, they make the game prettier, they add more weapons, they do things. They don't make drastic changes within the scope of a singular story and a trilogy. That doesn't really happen. But they said, no, we're going to go back and we're going to change the feel of this. We want to go back to this era of Doom. So he isn't going to have all the futuristic stuff. It's going to be different. How do we do that and still make it feel like Doom? And they did it, and they did it in spades. Again, the only gripes that I have is that, my glory kills had to take an L for it.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get it. It's just me being BC. I want them to incorporate all of it and make
All of it.
absolute perfect Doom. That's what I want. But at the end of the day, though, what they created here is something special that stands on its own. It is distinct from 2016 and Eternal in a variety of ways. And they just, again, have I gotta tip my hat to id, man. It's really, really something special. And I hope this brings even more people into the fold. I hope, people really open their eyes to what Doom has been and is now and can still be in the future. And again, I'm excited for whatever they do next. If they give me more Doom, I don't have a problem. If they say, let's see what we could do with Quake, I'll be elated.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I think that concludes our Doom review. Definitely got the iron seal from all four lords. So it's officially seal of approval from IOP. First off, want to thank Bethesda and Xbox for giving us early access to this. Plenty of time to play it. Appreciate you guys. And we will see you on the next Iron Lords. I don't even know if we're calling this group review or whatever. But we're going to see you on the next round table review. There we go.
Yes. R&R review.
Peace.
Peace. Rip and tear until it is done.